Across the country, road building projects that have stalled can often lead to problems with large numbers of empty properties.
The area around the North Circular here in Enfield has suffered decades of neglect. Years of problems with fly tipping, squatting, arson and vermin have made places uninhabitable. But with 75,000 people on London's waiting list, these homes are resources that need to be used.
Back in the 60s and 70s, the government worked to compulsory purchase houses along this 2-mile stretch of the A406 to make way for a road widening scheme that never materialised, leaving hundreds of homes to fall into disrepair. But today, more than 40 years later, 250 properties are in their final phase of being refurbished and the entire area is being brought back to life. I've come to meet Ken Barnett, the project manager from Notting Hill Housing Trust, to find out more.
So Ken, remind me, how did we get to a situation where so many properties along this A406, the North Circular, was just sitting empty for years?
It started back in the 1960s when Department of Transport were starting to buy up properties for planning to make the road into a dual carriageway. That decision was subsequently shelved, but in the meantime, total uncertainty and total blight of the area.
The Housing Trust has purchased the houses from Transport for London and is in the process of bringing them back into use.
What's the cost of doing this? What sort of money's involved?
We are spending just in excess of £10 million on refurbishment costs on that, and that includes the clean-up of the gardens and everything where they were squatted. In terms of the works we're doing broadly new roofs, new kitchens, new bathrooms. We're reconfiguring some of the properties just to make them more usable, bringing them up to modern-day standards.
Finally, what difference does all this make? How important is it?
I think the community is getting back on its feet, following the blight and uncertainty which has gone on for a long time.
And one local resident, Maureen Stevenson, has benefited from the housing project. Having lived in the area for 14 years, she's now living in one of the improved properties, complete with double glazing to minimise the road noise.
Before the regeneration started, along the A406 was really bad. The houses were derelict and ran down. There were squatters. People used to fly tip, dump rubbish everywhere. You really felt like you were living in a slum, really. It wasn't very nice.
The work being done here really has made a positive difference to the area.
It is so lovely to see all those houses back in use and, nicely decorated. And, families are going to move in so that we can have a community again.
So many years, when you drove down this road, you just see boarded up house after boarded up house. But now finally, the area is being brought back to life. And it's not just about revitalising the community, it's also about getting people off the housing waiting list and providing much needed homes for families.